Hi, I'm Dr. Leslie Gray with Dermatology Center of Atlanta and our Advanced Body Sculpting Center, and I want to welcome you to our live COOLSCULPTING ELITE Lunch and Learn event. This event is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to give you a lot of information about COOLSCULPTING ELITE, what it can do, what it can treat, what treatments are like, what results you can expect. And I encourage you to stay till the end for a couple of reasons. First, if you have any questions, we're going to have a live Q&A, and I will be around to answer your questions in the chat, as well as our Advanced Body Sculpting Center providers and team. In addition, we will let you know how to receive your prize, a special giveaway for participating today. And we are going to give everyone who gets a Advanced Body Sculpting Center consult a free 30-minute cooltone session, which really helps. Cooltone is a device that actually helps with muscle toning, and you can do it in the abdomen, the thighs, the buttocks, and you will receive a free session at your body sculpting consult. And we're going to let you know how to receive that prize at the very end. Also, as a special bonus, all of you who are attending are officially entered to win, or entered to a raffle to win a free COOLSCULPTING cycle treatment for yourself. So I hope you enjoy today's session and hope to see you in the office for your consult soon. So now I am here with our amazing Advanced Body Sculpting team, and I'm going to let Amber and Brea introduce themselves.
Okay, so I'm Amber. I am a licensed esthetician, and I am a master certified COOLSCULPTING provider.
And I'm Brea. I'm also a licensed esthetician and a COOLSCULPTING University trained provider.
So we have excellent trained providers who also, I will say, have amazing eyes for COOLSCULPTING. And I do want to tell you, before we kind of dive into the hows and what's and all that with COOLSCULPTING, why we brought it into the practice in the first place. And the reason is that basically I have a very selfish practice. So I, back about probably 7, 8, 9 years ago, I can't remember, I was kind of struggling myself with, I was eating right and I was exercising, but things were changing, and it was actually my muffin top that got me. So me and my whole family have always had like little arms and little legs, but it was my belly that really drove me crazy. And so I thought, well, there's like devices out there now. I know there's things I can do. Let me dive deep and see if I can figure out what the best thing would be to add to our practice. And so we got the COOLSCULPTING back then because I realized that the technology with COOLSCULPTING I thought was superior. It freezes the fat. It could actually permanently change my shape and improve the way I look and feel, and that's why we brought it into our practice. So let's talk about why the COOLSCULPTING ELITE machines are so effective. And in fact, the COOLSCULPTING ELITE machines it's the newest technology, and they are a much improved version over the original COOLSCULPTING machines, devices that we had in the beginning. And you all have used both COOLSCULPTING and the COOLSCULPTING ELITE. So kind of tell me a little bit about, or tell them a little bit about what's the unique and better and different with the COOLSCULPTING ELITE.
Yeah, so with our treatment times, we can get you in and out of the building much quicker than the previous machines. Previously, we only had 2 heads coming off of each machine that we were working with. Now we have 4. So those treatment times are decreased significantly for you, so you're in and out of the building much faster.
Yeah, and the heads of the applicators are actually shaped a little differently, so can contour your body a little better than the previous machine.
Yeah. Because of both of these things too, we start getting results much faster now. So it's 4 weeks versus the older machines. It was a good 8 weeks or so before we were seeing anything. So the treatments are just so much better, and patients are getting much better results.
Yeah, it still takes about 12 weeks or so to see your 12 weeks to see your peak results, but you definitely are starting to see things faster. And we're kind of famous for our midsection makeovers, and that's been going really well with the COOLSCULPTING ELITE. So the COOLSCULPTING ELITE actually is FDA approved to treat 9 different areas. Tell us what it can do.
So you can essentially treat from your chin all the way down to your knees. So we've got this kind of chin jaw area, axillary puff, this bra area that no one likes, any bra fat area, abdomen, flanks, inner outer thighs, and then down to your knees.
And your butt.
Oh, yeah, arms. You
and
can
your
do
butt.
arms too. Yep.
And your butt roll. Banana roll is what they call it. Yeah. And how many treatments do most people need?
We recommend at least a minimum of 2 treatments starting off, and then we'll reassess you again and see if there are more treatments needed.
So each session will have different number of applicators kind of applied, and that's why those consults are also so important. Okay, so let's talk about who's a good candidate for CoolSculpting.
So I like to say, if you can squeeze it, we can freeze it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's also really good that you come in for your consults too, because everybody's body is completely different. We're all shaped differently, so we like to customize it specifically for you and your needs.
Yeah, and the consults are important too, because there are some medical contraindications, so we do like to do a thorough evaluation and make sure that you're a good candidate. And the consults for us, I think, are very much more geared towards education and really teaching you about what the machine can and can't do, so you have a really good concept of what your results would be like. All right, let's talk a little bit about downtime with CoolSculpting Elite. So what kind of happens after your treatment?
So there isn't any specific downtime. You can go back to your normal daily activities the day of after your treatment. So
it's a pretty easy procedure. Most of obviously your time is in the office, but afterwards people just kind of go back to their activities. And then how long till people see the maximum results?
So max results will be about 10 to 12 weeks after your treatment, depending on the amount of rounds that you do. You'll just wait out about 12 weeks and then you'll see what you got. Hi, I'm Amber. I am a licensed esthetician and one of the master cool sculpting providers here at Dermatology Center of Atlanta's Advanced Body Sculpting Center.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I'm a patient here, and I also am an employee here. I do the billing.
So today we're going to be taking a look at Melissa. It's our reassessment for our second round of treatment of CoolSculpting. We did our first round in December. We treated her abdomen and her flanks. So today we're going to be taking a look, see what our results are, and then decide what we want to do for our second round. What are you noticing so far, Melissa?
So far, I noticed that my lower abdomen has gone down a lot from the first time I saw when we first did everything. I noticed I haven't lost like pounds on the scale, but I have dropped 2 pant sizes.
Nice.
My jeans, I was in like a 12, pushed to 13. Now I'm in 11. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, I could just tell a big difference. Like just looking in the mirror, I can tell that it's kind of smoothing out. There's less puffiness going on, and I really haven't had to do much exercising or dieting for it to happen. So I'm really impressed how the first round has gone so far.
Great. That's awesome to hear. So, okay, we're going to look at your photos really quickly so we can kind of see where we got with everything together, and then we'll go over and we'll get some markings done, okay?
Okay.
So this is going to be kind of our side view here. So over here is going to be where we started, and then here is where you are today. So you can see drastically went down, right? Mm-hmm. I notice a huge difference here in the side and just how everything is smoothed out. And then of course you have way less volume in the abdomen.
Yes.
Let's take a look at the flanks too, because I think you have phenomenal results in this flank area as well. So flank-wise, what you can see is more waist is showing. So we've cut the waist in nicely, so there's a lot smoother of a curve kind of going in, and then you can see how much more it's pulled your waist in. Mm-hmm. Looks great,
yeah,
right?
It looks really good.
Awesome. Perfect. All right, so let's go over and let's get you assessed.
Okay.
All right, so we are here again with Melissa, and we are gonna reassess her abdomen, make some new markings, and get our plan for our second round of treatment for her. All right, so taking a look at her, you can see she's come down nicely. We do have a little area right here that's a little fuller than the rest of the abdomen. But I know that she does want to reduce her abdomen as a whole still. So we're going to treat the whole abdomen again. I'm going to mark her all up, just knowing that we may have to come back in here and do just a third round of treatment to this little area if there's still a little bit of unevenness there. All right, so you can see we're gonna start up at the top. We're gonna come all the way down to the bottom of her abdomen, covering all of the area while not going really past her abdominal wall here so that we can keep this nice shape in. I did go a little bit past on the sides here just because she does have a little bit of fullness over here on the side that I wanna reduce down a little bit. All right, if you want to turn and face the back for me, okay. I'll take a look at the back side. All right, so, in talking with Melissa, I know that this area right here really bothers her now because her flanks have come in nicely. She's seeing a nice smoothness down here, and she would just like this to match down here. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna address this for our second round here, and then we'll kind of look at the picture as a whole and see what her waist is looking like, see if we feel like we need to take any more from this area because she does like to keep that nice waist cut in with a hip.
Thank you all so much for joining us for this live Cool Sculpting Elite Lunch and Learn event. I hope you found it useful. I hope you've got a lot of great information. If you didn't get all your questions answered, no worries. We are going to be around for a Q&A, and we will stay here as long as we need to answer all your questions. I'll be answering questions along with Amber and Brea, our Cool Sculpting providers. In addition, after the event and after the questions are answered, we are going to be sending you all texts. And if you want to take advantage of the special giveaway, which is a free advanced body sculpting consult with a free 30-minute cool tone muscle toning session, 30-minute session, just text us back yes, and we will get in contact with you to schedule your consult. In addition, all of you, just for joining us today, are entered into a raffle to win a free Cool Sculpting Elite cycle, and we are going to be notifying the winner of the cycle by Friday this week, so make sure you check your emails. Thanks again for joining us, and I hope you found this useful, and I hope to see you in the office soon. Hey everybody, hope you all enjoyed that and found it useful. Like we talked about, you are eligible just for joining us today for a free Cool Sculpting cycle. So we'll check your emails for tomorrow. Also, when we text you after the event is completely over, you can text us back cool instead of yes, or yes, we'll get it, to be entered to get your free Cool Sculpting consultation and to be receive a free cool tone session too. So that's pretty fun. So we're going to get to your questions, and I need these. I know many of you will understand that. Okay, so there we go. Do you charge for consultations?
No charge.
No, so they're complimentary. They always are. So, and I think it's important because we do want to make sure, I think making sure you're a good candidate obviously is key, and making sure you'll have good results. Typical time between treatments in a series of 2 or 3?
So usually 6 to 8 weeks. The only time I think that it gets spread out a little bit further is if we're kind of looking at skin laxity and things like that. Sometimes we'll go 10 weeks between. So it really varies from person to person, but I would say the average is around 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. Is this a good treatment for apron bellies?
Yes. Depends. Every person, like we said, is a little different. Sometimes we have to do kind of a debulking situation, I like to say, of the apron, where you kind of bring that back a little bit, get everything in line, and then address the stomach as a whole too. But yeah, consult, most important for that.
How do I do this?
liposuction and a mini tummy tuck before.
I won't do it. Sorry, I have a little pop-up blocking. There we go. Okay, next question. I've had liposuction and a mini tummy tuck before. Am I still a candidate? I have an area above my belly button that still bothers me.
Consult. We need to see you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Possibly. We've actually had, I'm thinking about a patient, I think one of them treated that did really well with a similar type of situation, but it depends. So we definitely need to take a look. And during the consult, as you saw, we'll kind of be able to pinch and touch and squeeze and making sure it all works out. What are the possible side effects?
So everyone has some numbness. It kind of varies in the amount of time that you have it. It could be anywhere from a couple days to a couple weeks. Bruising can happen. Usually not like black and blue bruising, more just kind of red speckly type bruising. Let's see, what else?
Those are the most common.
Yeah, most common. Nerve pain can happen as well, but not every person gets the nerve pain.
That's rare.
Yeah, very rare that you get that, but that is a known side effect as well.
Good question about cooltone. I have a metal plate in my collarbone. I thought I heard either cooltone or COOLSCULPTing could not be performed. Can you answer this? Yeah. It's cooltone.
Cooltone.
Yeah. This COOLSCULPTing should be okay. The cooltone is the
and
one.
even cooltone, like if you're treating your abdomen or your legs or your buttocks and the metal is up in your collarbone, as long as the metal's not in the treated area, you can still treat with cooltone.
Yeah, so usually if you're a couple feet away or so, it should be okay. Should you lose weight first?
That's a hard one.
It depends. You do have to be at a certain weight to treat. So we do, when you come in, we will weigh you and we look at your BMI. And if it's too high, you won't be a candidate. So you will need to. But if you're within normal range,
10, 15 pounds.
Yeah, that's okay.
But
it is also important, I think, to realize that COOLSCULPTing is not a weight loss treatment. It is I think a motivator, though. We see a lot of
100%.
Patients, right, that I think, y'all have told me stories of patients that
they start seeing results and then they get super motivated and then they
gym
really get to where they want to be because they're seeing those results. And sometimes they just need a little help.
Yeah.
We all do.
Hi, what is the cost per area and how many weeks apart do you need to schedule sessions? Cost per area varies depending on if you're doing a package or not. And again, this is where it becomes very individualized. And that's why the consults are important because if you're doing fewer areas, it's obviously going to cost less. If you're going to do more, it'll cost more. It just depends on what you need. So that's why the consultation, I think, comes in.
Very important.
Oops. What percentage of fat do you lose per session?
20 to 25%, each time you treat. So we typically, that's why we say we do those 2 rounds of treatment, and then that usually gets you in that 40 to 50% window of loss.
If you need to lose weight, do you need to lose weight before doing COOLSCULPTing?
It's different for everyone. I like to say between 10 and 15 pounds from your goal weight, but it definitely can be a motivator. So if you are in the gym and you're active, lose some weight first and then come back and do a consult. They're free and
or especially if you reduce some of the stuff down, you're just going to get even better of a result. Yeah. You may just need to go to cooltone instead of COOLSCULPTing. So if you're able to get it off yourself, I always say do it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do think, again, going back to the results sometimes can be motivating. So if you're a candidate, and that's the important thing too, because again, if you do have too much weight to lose, you just won't be a candidate. But if you are a good candidate, a lot of our patients do find COOLSCULPTing to be a motivator because they see a result and it kind of just, encourages you to keep making the good choices as far as your diet and your exercise. How does the treatment feel? Is it painful at all?
So the first 10 minutes is the coldest.
Yeah.
It kind of works its way up, and then it's that 10 minutes that you're kind of working through everything. Kind of, to me, it kind of feels just like a cold burn. And then the area just goes numb afterwards for the rest of the treatment. 2-minute massage at the end, I think, is kind of all over the place as to how people respond to it. Some people are ticklish, some people feel nothing, some people are a little uncomfortable with it, but it's 2 minutes, everyone gets through it. No one has ever made me stop. Yeah, it's tolerable. It's the most important part of the whole procedure. So
let's see. I've read it's not good for obese people as the smoothing is not actually smooth. What's your thought for bigger people? Well, I think going back to what we were saying,
for sure.
The console.
Is really important.
Yeah, just making sure you're a candidate.
Does the skin tighten at all, or will it be saggy? That's a good question.
Yeah.
If there's skin laxity there, since we're taking volume away, it could increase the skin laxity, but we want to see you first because it may not be the best option for you. If there's some skin laxity.
If it's a lot of skin laxity and it's truly saggy, quite frankly, some people are better surgical candidates. I'll just be honest with you. And I mean, that's again, what goes back to the consults. This is why they're so important. And also setting the expectation for you guys, like if you're coming in and that's your goal is to have the laxity improved, no, then CoolSculpting is not going to be the right procedure for you. So we want to make sure that what you're expecting and what you're going to see goes along with the procedure. Oh, good one. How many places can be done in a session? So
4.
Yeah.
4. So our machines have 2 cords coming off of them. So each cord has a head on it. So that's considered a cycle. So with the machines, if you've got both of them going, you can have 4 different areas going at one time.
So that's kind of the same thing. Does it cause any long-term abnormal sensations on the areas done? Not really. I mean, there's a minuscule risk with it, but we don't think we've seen anything that's been persistent.
No, I would say the numbness can last the longest out of anything, but it's usually a few weeks, and that's at the longest that it can take, but it always returns itself to normal.
Are the results permanent?
Yes. That's the good part about it. So fat cells, when we reduce those fat cells, you don't make new fat cells. So you've got less fat cells in the area. You can still gain weight, of course, and those fat cells that you have will get bigger or smaller, but their overall is less fat cells in the area. So people just find that the shape of their body changes after CoolSculpting.
If you've had CoolSculpting in the past and it did not work, would you suggest doing this CoolSculpting Elite? That's a tough one. Again, I think coming in for the consult is probably going to be the best thing to do. And really, that's going to be so situational too, about how you look, what was treated, where it was done.
Treated. That's a big one.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that would just, again, be something to be answered in a consult. Will the nerve pain go away if you get that pain? Weird things happen to be. Yeah, I haven't seen any that have persisted.
It usually just lasts for a couple of days if you are one of those people to get it.
Another question about losing weight. I'm losing weight now. Better to wait until I reach my goal weight. I'm down 15, but have 20 to go. That's personal.
Yeah, I would say coming in for your consult so you can talk to your provider. They can kind of see what your goals are, see where you are right now, what we think 20 more pounds is going to do for you, and things like that. So the consult, I think, is going to be the most important.
How many treatments are typical for a double chin? So with a chin applicator, we use it's smaller, but it also depends on the size of your chin.
Yeah. Most people, you've either got one kind of centrally here, or we're doing one and then kind of depending on how much fat is in the area, we may come back in and do another treatment to the area. So potentially 4, I would say at the max.
Is this something that a person in their 70s can participate in?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Any age, really. I mean, just you have to look at what everything is looking like going into it, the skin and everything like that before you make those decisions.
Yeah, and I think with older people too, we'll see sometimes more skin laxity again, which might be more of the issue. So again, it comes back to the consult. Can you tell me more about your midsection makeover? So that's kind of what we're known for. Brea and Amber kind of are specialists with that, but you can go tell them about that. Usually it involves
Yeah, I mean,
belly
usually all the way
and-
from, underneath the bra area, all the way down to your belly, into the flanks is included in our midsection because you want to pull the whole area down as a whole. But yeah, we specialize in it. It's our favorite thing to do. We love having people's clothes fit better, feeling more comfortable in bathing suits and things like that.
And, a lot of times people will pair that once they get the results too with the cool tone, because with the cool tone, what you're doing now is toning the muscle. And I think sometimes just removing the fat is nice, but a lot of times people want that muscle tone as well. And, for me personally, I love the cool tone because of just like how it makes me feel. Like you almost can feel the strength of that. It does make you, I don't know, feel more.
You just feel
stable.
Feel tight. Yeah, your core just feels tight.
It's so a lot of times that's kind of the feeling of it, but it does make things look better. And sometimes after your COOLSCULPTING results, when you kind of increase the muscle tone, it just looks that much better. What is the difference between COOLSCULPTING and cool tone?
Sculpting, we are eliminating the fat. Cool tone, we are toning those muscles on the abdomen, glutes, or thighs.
Yeah, so we use them differently. They're definitely not exclusive. In other words, you can do them together. So they're both really great products or treatments. Can the fat come back? So good question. So where we're treating is going to decrease 20% of the fat in that area. And the fat cells, once they're eliminated, they're gone for good. But the fat cells themselves individually can get bigger and smaller. So in other words, I'll use myself as an example. When I did my COOLSCULPTING, my issue was my belly, like I told you guys. And I felt like I was more like that. And then now I'm more like this. And so now if I gain and lose weight, it's more like that versus like this. So it does change your shape, but yes, you can still gain and lose weight. How many treatments for a small double chin, and about how much would it cost? Is it better to do this when it isn't a big problem?
So you have to have enough tissue in the area to actually do the treatment. So if there's not a lot there, you may not be a candidate yet. So coming in for your consult and us looking at the area and seeing, and then like we said earlier, usually it's 1 or 2 cycles on the chin to cover the whole area, depending on if you're very central or if we need to work on the jawline a little bit too.
Yeah, chins I think are tricky because you do have to kind of, there's a little, I don't know, we have it, but there's like a little chin device thingy that you have to fit into. It's fine. Yeah. So you said peak results after 12 weeks, but how quickly can you see any results? That's a good question. Yeah.
With the elite machines, as soon as 4 weeks, some patients have reported. So
yeah, some people, and starting to see them. I think it's exciting when you start to see it because it just gets better. So like the minute people come in and we're like, I'm starting to see something, and that's kind of the fun time. Oops. How long does it last? I'm not sure if that meant well, each treatment session
can be different from person to person, depending on the amount of cycles that we're doing. Most of the treatment times are either 35 or 45 minutes. As far as how long does COOLSCULPTING last, if that was what you were asking too, your results are permanent. So like she was saying, the fat cells can still get bigger or smaller depending on what you're doing, but your shape is usually different and you just don't gain weight the same way.
Do you have to have a certain body mass, or I think she means body mass index to be a good candidate? You do. And again, that's where the consult comes in though as well. Okay, so I think that's all of our questions. I thank you guys again so much for joining us. Remember, we really appreciate you guys spending your lunch with us, and we hope to see you in the office soon. So, bye.